Hello and good evening and welcome to the ANZCAR Thunder Season 3 2022 Round 1 at Daytona. My name is Matt Hunter. I will be running the cameras and commentating tonight, solo. And performance streaming you're watching. And yeah, we're heading to Daytona for round 1 of the Thunder series. Now, so far this year, Season 1 and Season 2 of the Thunder series have been taken out by Hamish Gallagher in the number 13 Diet Coke Taylor Swift car there. Dominant run in Season 1 for Hamish, and the field closed the gap a bit in Season 2. The field closed up to him a little bit, made it a little bit harder for him to win, but he came through. Won his 4th championship in a row for Thunder Series in ANZCAR, and he will be looking to grab his 5th championship in a row. And of course, being at Daytona, anything can happen, and usually does. Usually we see a big one, and there's a few fresh faces out there that we haven't seen, and a number of drivers that we haven't seen for a while. So it will be interesting to see how they get on. So we're just running through now. We've got a minute left of practice, and then we will head into qualifying. So just trying to think, there's not much to talk about at the moment, at the beginning of the season. Just having a little bit of a skim through the field, see if we can see any fresh liveries. Not really, everyone's sort of still in the same teams. Good turnout, we have 29 cars here in the server at this stage. A few new faces. Here's a name I haven't recognised before, Sean Hart. First series for him. And good to see Wilco out there. If I can just find him on the timing. There we are, Peter Wilkinson from the Locked On Lads Racing. Good to see him out there tonight. Of course, if you're also, just a reminder, if you're watching on YouTube, you can go to that live timing link, which will give you a live timing feed. And so I'm just going to do a couple more housekeeping things here. From the Locked On Lads Racing, good to see him out there. As they are starting to head into qualifying. So we have a new overlay system to trial out. So far, not so good. All the testing I've sort of done on it in a couple of weeks leading up to this, and come race night, it is not performing well. But we'll see if we can make it through. As we can see here, Wilco's starting to roll out of the pits and start to get onto his 2 qualifying laps. Interesting that the timing says 10 minutes. There might be an error with the server. When I've set it up, I might have accidentally set up a 10 minutes for qualifying instead of 5. Just have a look here at Wilco. As you can see here, he is starting to cross the start-finish line to start his lap. Here we are, we can see the timing here. So he has opted just to sort of run the middle of the track for his first lap. Generally, if there's super speedways, 2 ways of thinking. You do your 2 laps down on the line for the shortest amount of distance, or the other thought is that you take your first lap on the high line, build up as much momentum as you can, and then drop down to that low line for the second lap. Which I think he might be still trying to build. So it'll be interesting to see if the second lap he drops it down on the line and keeps it there for the whole lap. I think maybe Wilco's has decided that he might settle back into the back of the pack. So what we'll do is we'll jump into somebody else who's on a flying lap. Let's jump into Josh Micklemore, who is currently on his first lap here. Yep, coming around for his second lap there now. So his last lap time of the 50.441 was enough to get into second. But you can see here Josh is keeping the car low to that line, trying to minimise the actual track distance he has to travel. Comes down with 4. We can see the new fast lap details up on the top right. And his second lap, he's come around. Improved his lap time a little bit on this first one, but not enough to go up to the top of the chart. If we have a look at our data for... That's our running order so far, qualifying order. Let's see if we can find another car qualifying. Tom Pritchard has just pulled up after his second flying lap. Noddy Tompkins is currently on his first qualifying lap. It looks like Noddy's another one who will be opting to start from the back as he pulls out of that qualifying lap. And we see Stephen Williams sitting here at the end of pit road as well. Jump on board with Stephen Williams for his qualifying run. Just going to see if we can make a little change or something here. So here we go. Yeah, zoom's working, but our turn's not working. So Steve's wound up the car now and he's hugging that low line. As we can see from this view here. Really sticking to that yellow line. And you want to stay to that yellow line because if you go wide, it means you have to actually cover more track distance, which is just going to naturally lower your lap time if you've got more distance to cover. As he comes around here for this first lap, it's 50.525. So that's good enough for 19th spot at the moment. Just have a look at his speed here. Sitting steady around that 283, 284 kilometers an hour mark. Of course, once they're in the draft, they'll be up over 300, probably 305 kilometers an hour, possibly even more in the draft. As he brings it off turn 4 here, he's coming for the tri-oval. See how his lap time is. So his last lap times there was a 50.333, which was enough to move him up to 7th position. So we just have a little bit more time to wait, another 2 minutes 20 to wait before the start of the race. Just a little bit of an error of the server setup there. Normally we have only 5 minutes for qualifying on the ovals, but for some reason we have 10 minutes tonight. I suspect when I rechecked these settings earlier today that it's gone and changed that time out to the what it was on my last race that I set up, which I know was a road course with the 10-minute qualifying time. So fingers crossed the laps are alright. Should be 60 lap race tonight. So yeah, actually while we're waiting, let's try and bring up some information about the track and stuff. So obviously 2 Mile Oval, super speedway, and located in Daytona Beach in USA. And if we have a look at our weather conditions and that there, so our sky is mostly cloudy, 20 degrees temperature, 20 degrees Celsius. The wind southeast, 10 kilometers an hour. So a little bit of a breeze there. And track temp is 21 degrees and humidity 1%. And as you can see in the background and by the lights, it is a night race as well. Now with the super speedways, tyres don't really wear, so tyres aren't a factor. And with this car, with the fuel load you get into it, probably around about 30-35 laps, we're looking for about a fuel load. So if it was to go green the whole way, we'd be looking at only one pit stop. But given the nature of super speedways, highly likely that we'll see more than one caution. So it's going to be a case of trying to get that last caution within your fuel window to make it to the end, because track position is probably going to be king, working your way through the draft. But yeah, as I say, tyres not really a factor. You might see some drivers not even change tyres, or you might see drivers just do 2 tyres on the right. But of course, if you have to get a full fuel tank, then you might just get tyres because it's covered by the time it takes to get fuel. Okay, as they're starting to get ready there, what we'll do is we'll jump into our grid. Okay, so on pole position we have Ruben Phillips, and standing beside him will be Tom Neal. So I'm just trying to get a good camera view up, just waiting for the guys to jump in their server and their cars. And yeah, that's better. Third will be Ram Yeager, fourth Greg Spencer, fifth Aidan Schultz, sixth Jaden Russell, seventh Stephen Williams, eighth will be Nigel Patton. Starting off ninth will be Jamie Curvis, Tom Pritchard in 10, Max Marshall 11, Micklemore in 12th, Lachlan Urquio in 13th, Wesley Closley in 14th, Hamish Gallagher 15th, Brett Campbell 16th. 17th will be Tristan Koch, Steve Hobbit in 18th, Sean Hart in 19th, Peter Wilkinson 20, Luke Jorgensen 21, Nathan Rorlock 22, Andrew Dyson 23rd, Dave Douglas 24th. And rounding out the grid will be Maddie Ray in 25th, Michael Skillock in 26th, Norm Clark 27, Kobe Jordan 28, and Nigel Tomkinson 29. So a number of drivers opted not to take a qualifying lap then. As I'm waiting for the graphic to get out of the way, there we are, as they start rolling out of the pit lane now. So a number of drivers like Dave Douglas and Andrew Dyson didn't opt to qualify. So knowing Dave Douglas, and he is pretty strong on super speedways, his tactic generally will be for the first half of the race, he'll probably sit at the back and just keep in touching distance of the lead pack, but not drop back too far. But try and stay back enough to miss any potential accidents or wrecks up in front of him. I know this because I do the same tactic, and usually Dave and I are hanging out the back of the super speedways in the first half of the race. Let the guys up front, the aggressive guys, go hard early and wreck themselves out, and yeah, and hopefully have a surviving car at the end and pick up good finishing position. This is going to be very frustrating with the delay and changing cameras. Hopefully it comes alright. So we're coming around here off turn 4 into the restart zone, and Ruben Phelps will have control of the field. Get ready to launch the field. And here we go. And away we go. So Ruben Phelps leads the field to the start, and they're all starting to just build that speed up and get up into 4th gear. Tom now on the 38 there, getting a little bit wobbly. He needs to keep the car a little bit straight and let those cars behind them sort of lock in and build up speed. As we can see here on the front, Ramy Yeager in the 23 is locking in behind Ruben and giving him a good push to get those cars out clear. And we'll chuck up a ticker if we can, so we can actually see where everyone is. Might arrive eventually. Still trying to get the overlays to load up properly here. Just having a little bit of a problem. This doesn't want to load. But we can see here it's pretty settled. Both lines sort of just taking it easy for the time being. And settling in to run to just log some laps for now. And what we might do is I might just have to restart our overlay system. I'll be right back. I'll just cover the screen. Just bring you back to the action while I'm loading up the theme. Not much happening up the front here, all just pretty settled. Cars all sort of running in the same position as they were originally. Here we go, and we're back. Let's see if this works. Right, we've only got a ticker. I think we'll just have to leave it. We're just having so many issues with it, unfortunately. We can see here where it is. Oh, we've got a bit of 3-wide action going on up here. It's one of the momentum cars I think is pulled out. Is that the 025? He's settled back in there now. Possibly a little bit early to go 3-wide, but I think he made a good move there and he's managed to gain a couple of positions. Let's see if we can get the web timing back up and running. Alright, web timing should be back up and running. As we see Max Marshall there in the yellow car, yellow and green car, drop down. Sorry if I'm distracted, but these overlays are just not working properly, and I just can't, just trying to get them to work properly, and that's taking my attention away from actually commentating on the race. Why are we stuck on that camera? Let's see if we can find Dave Douglas. Dave Douglas is sitting in 22nd position at the moment. Just riding around, biding his time there. You see he's got Hamish Gallagher in front of him there. Dropping down to the inside now for Gallagher. He's just quietly moving his positions up there. Up front we've got a bit of backwards and forwards going on there. It looks like we've got Tom Neal in the 38 After Dark sim racing car there at the front of the outside line. The 90 of Nigel Patton behind him. Not sure how much he'll be wanting to sort of push that 38 car in front of him, given that his two teammates are second and third in that low line. It's always a bit of a conundrum whether you try and help people pass your teammates or not. Should be everyone for themselves at this stage of the race though. So up the front still we have Ruben Phelps. He has, I believe, led every lap so far. Just having a look there at the 98 of Steve Williams. He's making his way up to the field. No, actually, I think he's dropped down a position. And technically, he started 8th. He's running 8th, 7th. Running 8th, started 7th, I believe. We do have a little bit of a drop off or a pack sort of forming. Just see if we can work out where that starts from. As we see at the front, that's outside line's got a bit more energised and a bit more pushed up now. Josh Micklemore looks like he's giving that line a bit of a push and a help. He's, of course, with the 28 car Russell behind him, they'll be sort of working together. Pretty quiet, pretty uneventful at this stage. Everyone just sort of logging the laps, ticking them down. Looks like Josh Micklemore in that blue 31 is trying to sort of push that outside line, those two cars, try and get them up there a bit. Do see those two yellow cars there. I'm just trying to work out. Okay, so I think the two yellow cars, the last one of those ones will be Nathan Rowlick in 19th place, and then after that we sort of do get a little bit of a gap, so only about a half-second gap back to Tom Pritchard in the 15 car. So they just want to be careful that they keep touch with those the draft in front of them. Anything more than sort of half a second to a second, you might lose that draft to the cars in front, and then you'll probably start losing 2 to 3 seconds a lap to the pack. And I think they're in danger of that because I see the gap is getting bigger and bigger, so You just need to be aware of that. I think you'll see Dave Douglas there in the black and white and yellow car, sort of recognising the danger that they could be dropping off the pack. So he's trying to sort of get around the outside and get up in touch with that draft. Let's go look back up the front here. Slater's quite up the front here, really. Ruben Phelps in first place. Got Greg Spencer behind him. Ramy Yeager behind him. In the 23. And we're already 13 laps down of 60. We see here Brett Campbell running here on his own. I think he might have had a bit of an issue at some stage. Yes, it looks like there might have been an issue at the back that we didn't catch. Let's see if we can grab a quick replay and see if we can find out what happened here. Just watching to see if anything's happened. No, can't really see anything there. Okay. So back to the live action here. We still see Dave Douglas and Hamish Gallagher and Michael Skurlock just sitting at the back here, just riding around logging laps. Not really wanting to get up to the front, and they've got Matthew Raymond there in the 83 car as well. I think they expect at some point to see an accident, which will take out a number of cars. So we see the cars coming down the back straight again. Looks like that back group has sort of closed up. I was mentioning before that they were sort of perhaps in danger of dropping off the front pack, but it looks like they have managed to sort of close that gap now and just sit pretty stationary there. Bit of a crank it up for you. I think we've got another problem with the overlay system. We do. Fortunately, I can't change cameras and I can't click on overlays. I think what we're going to do again, I'm just going to restart this, but I'm going to use a backup one. I think what we'll do is we'll grab our cup theme and use that one. Unfortunately, the overlays will look completely different, but they'll work, and that's what matters. So I was just bringing the system back up again now. Get the racing action up and going while I get everything started back up. There we go. Alright, I think we've got everything back up and running now. Unfortunately, technical gremlins going there. You do 2 weeks of testing on stuff, and you come to the the actual race where you need it, and it's broken, which is highly annoying. But anyway, we're back. We've got proper overlays now. We can sort of see where everyone is, sort of through the field. So Micklemore has managed to take that front line. He's managed to get to the front of that line, and now he's got Jaden Russell behind him and pushing him to the front at times. Unfortunately, that sort of change around happened while we were away, while I was trying to fix these overlays. Oh, it looked like we had a car around in the background. That looked like the car of Noddy Tompkins there. Let's see if we can find out what happened there. Just out of the corner, I saw him spin. So we'll just jump back here. Oh, looks like he just got a bump, unfortunately, from Skurlock. I think it might have been just a misjudgment. So we look here. Yeah, just a bump there, unfortunately, from Skurlock. Has sent Noddy into the wall. No caution at this stage though, they still keep going. But quite a bit of damage there to the car of Noddy Tompkins, which will not be helping it in the draft at all. And the other car involved in that was Michael Skurlock. So let's have a look at his car and see if he has much damage to it. Doesn't appear to be, although that right front does look like it might have some damage to it. So time will tell if that has an impact on his aero. Front here we see the pack has caught the car of Rick Campbell. So currently going 3 wide. Oh, he needs to keep it up on the wall. He's keeping it up on that wall now. And cars are all getting by it. But unfortunately that car has kind of split that front pack up a bit. Working around him, but we have seen that outside line drop back. But the thing about the outside line now is we now have Luke Georgeson and the 274 After Dark Sim Racing car at the front of that line, and he's got his teammate Tom Neal behind him. So they should be able to hook up and push, and they should work together and get up the front there, because the 31 of Micklemore and the 28 of Russell will be working together, although not teammates. They'll be in the same Discord chat and have an alliance there. So it looks like, did Russell just get a bump there from Ruben Phelps that got him a bit loose. Look at that outside line of Georgeson and Neil pushing, trying to get clear. Not able to. And 75 of Wesley Closey helping there a little bit. But you can see that bottom line is the three cars are sort of getting a bit nose to tail there. And that white car, that 41 of Andrew Dyson, has worked his way up to the front now. He is up 16 positions, so he's quietly moved his way through the field. I think we're seeing the cars that started at the back a bit more comfortable now. If we've gone 26 laps without an incident, they're confident to get up there and start mixing and mingling up the pack. Because we're seeing Skurlock in 16th and Dave Douglas working his way up as well in 21st. I do keep focusing on Dave Douglas to see where he's at, because he is quite good at the super speedways. He usually is always a factor in the last half to end of the races. He's either winning the races or pushing the car to the win. So that's why I'm following him reasonably closely. So we see the front pack sort of squeezing up a bit now. We do have that front pack of 24 cars all covered by 2.5 seconds. Norman Clark out on his own there. Not too far away from being lapped. I'm not sure what's happened to Norman there. Let's see Brett Campbell coming out of the pits. Back up the front here. Just starting to get a little bit more energised, I would say is the word to use, up the front. As we're coming up 2 laps away from halfway. Just going to keep an eye on the lap car of Campbell here as the pack comes by. This is going to be interesting for them. You can just see the big difference here, the draft catching up to a car on their own. The pack would have told the lap car to make sure he stays high, so we'll just keep an eye on that, make sure everyone gets through okay. There seems to be a drop-off there. A separation. Something's happened at the back of the pack there that's ended up splitting them up. I'm just going to have a little bit of look and see if I can find something, whatever's going on back there. Because all of a sudden, they've gone from 2.5 to being all drawn out and split up. So I'm not sure what's happened there. That's Peter Wilkinson's car there. It looks like it's got quite a bit of damage. Let's see if we can go back here. Oh, something's definitely happened there because there's a whole bunch of cars in the grass. Let's see if we can work out what's going on here. So, oh, the 131 has made contact and turned. Let's see if we can look at that again. 131 has made contact and turned the 029. which has forced cars to take avoiding action. So I've seen a whole bunch take onto the grass just to get through unscathed. And they have made it, but unfortunately it's just slowed them right down. So if we go back to the live action now. And it's still top 5 is pretty much still the same, really. With Micklemore, Russell and Phelps. And then the After Dark Sim Racing boys out on the outside line there. A little bit of hold up there with the lap car, but they got through alright. That pack has definitely been split up quite a bit now. We see how many cars have we got in the front pack? Just 12 cars in that front pack now. And then we can see Schultz in the 52 car there. And then from 12th to 13th, we're looking at about 12-second gap there, and that's the second pack that got checked up, unfortunately. And so these guys need to play it smart. They just need to stay in one line, get low and get fast, basically, and just run it as hard as they can now, qualifying laps pretty much, just to try and make up some time. So we're up to lap 33 now. We should start seeing some cars maybe thinking about pitting. Of course, you want to keep out and stay out for as long as possible as you can, in the hope that a caution comes out. You don't want to be going in and pitting under green, then when a caution comes out because somebody has trouble getting onto pit road, which is highly likely. If a whole bunch of cars come onto pit road all at once, we can see incidents and wrecks there, and that can cause cautions. So the longer you can stay out, the more possibility of that happening. It's a good job by the After Dark Sim Racing boys on the outside line there, just holding steady there. And that second pack is keeping steady at the same time. Gap hasn't drastically gotten bigger, so they are sort of working together and keeping the same speed as the leaders roughly. Still no takers for pit road. As you see, a big run there from the After Dark guys. After Dark Sim Racing guys, will they come down, or will they leave the 78 hanging? Or are they going to try and bring the 75? Yeah, they've left him hanging, unfortunately, the 75. he needed to be aware of that. It was possibly that he might have had enough room to jump in front of the 31 there, but I think the everyone's sort of getting single file and getting ready for a pit stop, and good job by those two after dark sim racing cars to get clear of the 31 there and come down. But yeah, as I say, that 75, he needed to be aware of what was going on there and get down. But he might have been just playing it safe as well. But unfortunately for him, he is going to be the only one on that outside line, and he's dropped down to 9th. He will probably end up around about 12th or 13th at the back of this pack. So I think we're getting ready to see some green flag pit stops any moment. Not this lap. As we see in the background there, the 75 did come down. As soon as there was a gap there for him, he dropped down. Good work. So he's back down in 10th place now. As the lead pack is going to fly past the 131 of Steve Hoppett there. Good to see Steve Hoppett out there. Of course, occasional guest commentator for us when we need help. So just keep an eye on the data here, just looking for any signs that these cars are going to head into the pits. Oh, I think we saw a bit of a fake out there. Tom Neal in that 38 in second position there just needs to be a little bit careful with that. Don't drift up too high and let the 31 have the possibility of getting underneath him. I think everyone will probably just be cruising it for now and until this pit stop's done, and then when they come out they'll be guns blazing really. As we watch the front. Coming off turn 4. Do we see anybody peel in? Yep, we're seeing the After Dark boys peel in. And there's 75, he's going to overshoot. It's unfortunate for the green foot 75 there. He's going to cop a penalty, I'm sure, from that. We see the After Dark boys in. Oh, and yep, he's going to get away with it. Not lined up very well in the pit booth, but he's done enough for the crew to be able to chuck some tyres and some fuel in it. And they come out now, so it's really important that he gets hooked up with his teammate there and gets back out, up to speed as quick as possible. We'll jump back on the front pack here. See Russell and Phelps have passed Micklemore. And we're going to see Phelps come down to pit lane with his teammate there, Jamie Nankervis in the number 8. So the pattern we're seeing so far is teammates all pitting together. As you see here, there's the After Dark boys getting lined up again. They need to get nose to tail as quickly as possible and even bump draft themselves if it helps. And yeah, qualifying laps, get back up to speed. So at 38, he just needs to drag the brake a little bit and get up there. Let his teammate get it right onto his bumper. So you see here, the lead pack here, and everybody in the lead pack is going to pit now. Oh, we see the 28 on the brakes. Oh, the 90's had an issue. He hasn't been able to slow down, so he's had to bail out. Oh, we got contact in pit lane there. So we've got cars going everywhere. Unfortunately, Andrew Dyson's had a bit of an issue there. I think he's had contact with another car in pit lane there, which has messed up his entry into the pit box. Seeing a lot of fuel stops there. Unfortunately, Nigel Patton, he's in the lead at the moment, but unfortunately had an issue getting onto pit road there. So let's see if we can find out what has happened. There is a lot going on. The timing information is lighting up like crazy. So I'm just trying to decipher it all and work out what is going on. There you go, the After Dark guys. Let's jump on with them. Looks like they've got closed up now. So 6th and 7th place for those guys at the moment. And just having a little bit of look through the timing data, looks like they did take tyres. So that's the difference, I believe. The lead cars up here all had pit stop times. Actually, why don't we bring up the pit stops info and have a look and see. So we can see the lead cars up here had pit stops around the 8-second mark, which is fuel only. And we see Neil had a 14.57 pit stop. And we haven't actually got any data registered for Georgeson. That must be because of the way he parked in the pit lane there. But I would say that he's taken 4 tyres as well, just given the length of time he was in the lane would be consistent with him taking 4 tyres as well. So that's, I think, the difference really. So we have the top 5 cars all only took fuel only, and the 6th and 7th car took tyres, and then we've got a whole bunch of fuel onlys from 8th down to 13th place. It's a bit of a mix going on there, but there was a bit of action going on. The session events was certainly lighting up, and I don't know which one to kind of choose to go back and have a little look at really. Let's have a look and see if we can have a look at this entry into pit lane here. So we can see up in the background there, Patton is really driving pretty slow there. So they've come down the pit lane here, and the 90 car of Patton has come down, tried to get in, then he realises he's overcooked it and he's not going to make it. He's locked up, so he's bailed out and he's decided to go through the grass and back onto the track. Good option to bail out there. And then having a look and down. This is what happened on pit lane here, where Andrew Dyson has tried to come down into his pit box. Eventually. So that's unfortunately why you don't really want people going down the left-hand side of pit lane until they are by their pit box, really. Very unfortunate there for Dyson. Looks like he might have picked up some damage from that and has parked the car from it, unfortunately. But back to live action here. We can see this top 3 here. 28 of Russell and 31 of Micklemore and the 600 of Hart. holding pretty consistent with the 4.5 second gap to third place car of Neil. These guys really need to sort of, all four of them line up bumper to bumper and really work together and be patient and try and push their way back up to the top three, because before them they should go faster, but it's all depends on how well they can line themselves up. What we do, I might just take a quick little break. I'm going to check on. They sort of crank it up and let the cars do the talking. Right, we're back. Let's catch up and see how we're going. So unfortunately that fourth place car of Neil is now 5 seconds off, which means the top three cars are doing a better drafting job than this group of four cars here. And I think in the background we can see another pack being headed by Stephen Williams again. That pack needs to kind of do the same thing as well. They need to line up and work together and see if they can get themselves back up to that next 4-car pack, and then see if they can get up there. But I think time's going to run out for them because they are 10 seconds off the leaders. These 3 cars here doing a great job of just sticking in tight there. Of course, Micklemore in the 31, very experienced ANZCAR driver. Been driving for a number of years. No stranger to pushing a car well on a super speedway. And I think that's possibly the difference at the moment, is he's doing a really good job of pushing that 28 car along. And unfortunately the 4th place car and this 4-car group here in 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th is just not quite lining up and pushing along as well as that front 3 group. So it's all holding pretty steady at the moment. Just might have a incident to go back and have a look at. Let's see what's going on. Looks like Steve Hobbit has had a bit of an issue. I think Steve might have decided just to park it for the night. Let's check in with our defending series champion, Hamish Gallagher. He's got a bit of damage there. He's picked up an accident. So unfortunately for Hamish, he's running in 18th position at the moment, which is not something we're accustomed to. But it is a super speedway, so it's the sort of thing that happens on super speedways. We see the front three cars have just passed the 42 of Lachlan Urquio, who is the first car one lap down, and then that's Raymond Yeager in the 23 in the white and red car behind him. So those two will be having a little bit of a battle for the lucky dog, but also not trying to impact the leaders at all. Caution free, 55 laps in the books and caution free, which is pretty good for super speedway racing. And we've come a long way in ANZCAR where we can go that long without caution on the super speedway. And you can see that front pack now is looking at our timing on the side there. That front pack is of 3 cars is pulling away even further now from the 4th, 5th, and 6th places cars. Having another 2 cars there adding to their draft is helping them pull that out a bit more. You see here the second group of cars. And let's jump back to our next little wee group there. '15 trying to give the 98 a bit of a push. And there we can see the visualization. It's a bit late in the night for me to use that word actually. We can see the gap, the distance between the second pack and the third pack there. It was a good shot on the back straight there. You can see the difference in time. We jump back to the front pack as well. So coming down to 1 lap to go. Now the chess game begins. High-speed chess game. So we're going to come around, we're going to have 1 lap to go. The question is the 31 going to have a crack at the 28? And if he does it go wrong and open the door for the 600 to come through? And do the 42 and the 23 have a part to play in it as well as we come onto the last lap here? I think if we're going to see a move, we'll see the move in turn 3 to 4. The 31's got a good run off turn 2 there. Will he look to use it? No. 31 just opening up that gap a little bit to the 28. Looking to use that draft and get a good run off the corner and try and drag race him down the front straight. So come off the corner here. I don't think it's going to change. I think we're just going to see this order flow through, and there we go. That's the finish. Jaden Russell has won the first race of season 3 in 2022 of the ANZCAR Thunder. I really need to work on getting super excited for the ending of these races. So just keep an eye on these 3 cars here, just looking to come over the line, finish the race. They cross over. And there we go. Victory burnouts for Russell there. Right, so while Jaden is doing his victory burnouts there, let's run through the results quickly. Okay, in first position, Jaden Russell. Second position, Josh Micklemore, and rounding out the top 3, Sean D. Hart. The After Dark boys, Luke Jordanson in 4th, Jamie and Curvis in 5th, Aidan Schultz 6th, Tom Neal in 7th, and Pritchard in 8th, Dave Douglas in 9th, Stephen Williams in 10th. 11th was Michael Skurlock, Maddie Ray in 12th, up 13 positions. Nigel Patton in 13th, 14th Lachlan Ukio, 15th Raymond Jaeger, 16th Wesley Closeley, 17th was Norman Clark, 18th was Reuben Phelps, 19th Nathan Rolock, and 20th was Brett Campbell. 21st was Peter Wilkinson, and 22nd was Hamish Gallagher. This will be one of his drop rounds, I'm sure. And 23rd, Steve Hoppert, Andrew Dyson, 24th, Greg Spencer in 25th, Tristan Koch in 26th, Noddy Tompkins 27th, Maxi Marshall in 28th, and I don't believe Kobe Jordan started the race. So let's have a little bit of a look and see. Well, I'm just waiting for the drivers to jump into the green room. Let's get all set up and ready. Okay, let's have a little look and see if we have anyone in the green room. We do. So I'll grab up our 3rd place finisher, Sean Hart. Sean Hart, welcome to the broadcast booth. It's Matt Hunter here. Good race for you. Your first race in ANZCAR, I believe, and a top 3 finish.
Yeah, first race indeed. Was a bit out of my element, not my typical race car. Usually I'm in the V8. But yeah, the pit stops were kind to me, and just worked together with the other 2 to put it on the podium. So it's a good result.
Excellent, excellent. And did you have any sort of pre-strategies in mind when you started the race, or you just went with the flow and adapted as you went along?
I knew tyres weren't going to be an issue here. I was just trying to conserve as much fuel so I wasn't spend as much time in the pits. And that kind of paid off. I came out a few seconds ahead of most of the field. So yeah, it was just about the fuel really for most of the race, just sort of tuck into the group and just try and conserve as much as I could.
Excellent, excellent. So you did no tyres on that pit stop, just fuel only, was it?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Yep, perfect, perfect.
Yeah, I think I left like 97% still on them, so they
Yeah,
definitely were right to go the distance.
yeah, excellent. Yeah, there was a few drivers who did opt to take 4 tyres, but the majority looked like they only took 2. So it's good just to get a bit of confirmation because I can only sort of go off the lap time, the pit stop time. So I figured that everyone was not taking tyres.
Yeah.
So that's good. So yeah, that's a good start. First race in ANZCAR League, and 3rd position. Are you obviously racing the Xfinity car? Are you looking to race any of the other series, like the trucks or the Cup cars at all?
Yeah, when I can. Unfortunately, I can't necessarily commit to every race every week.
Yeah.
I'm only new to the league, but whenever there's a session available, I can join. I'll definitely join it. The race was definitely a good introduction. It was pretty good racing out there, so I'm definitely happy to come back again.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see a race at a super speedway go caution free as well. We've come a long way. We we used
Yeah.
to be always a caution on a super speedway, so yeah, it's good to see that we've got that there now sorted. So that's good. Excellent. Do you have any fans or sponsors you want to give a shout out to?
Just the Code 9 esports team. None of those guys have joined up here yet, but I imagine a few of them will in time. And just shout out to Brownie's Garage. Have a look at their YouTube channel. But other than that, yeah, thanks for the chat.
Excellent. No worries. All right, I'll drop you back down into the green room, and enjoy the rest of your night.
Yep. Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Have a good one.
You too. Josh Micklemore, second place finisher in the broadcast booth. How are you going?
Hey, mate. Yeah, good, thanks. How about you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's been one of those nights. So second place finish for you there tonight. You and Jaden obviously worked really, really well tonight.
Yeah, me and Jay Russell working together tonight, getting through the field and getting up to the front and leading some laps. Probably one of the cleanest Daytonas I've ever been in, actually. It was, and probably the quickest one, too.
Yeah, I've made that comment as well. That yeah, having going caution free on a super speedway is highly unusual, given when we were where we were when we first started out on super speedways. So yeah, it's good to see. I guess that kind of threw off a little people as well. The usual ones that like to hang back now. Yeah, weren't able to sort of get up there and mix and mingle. But it looked like when you came out of the pit stop, so I was sort of making the comment there. It looked like you were sort of pushing Jaden pretty hard there, and that was possibly the difference why the next pack couldn't catch you. Were you pushing pretty hard on that last run?
Not really, to be honest with you. I was only 3/4 throttle for the first probably half of that run. And then after that, I was pushing pretty hard. But I was we were maintaining a gap and ended up pulling away and not even trying to be honest with you. So we knew what sort of gap we had, and if they were going to gain up pretty quick, I was going to push real hard. But we didn't really have to tonight. We ended up pulling away, so I don't know what those guys behind us were doing, but yeah, bit of an easy one for us actually.
Yeah, I think the difference I was trying to sort of illustrate on the broadcast was that you were very nicely, tightly lined up behind Jaden there and giving a good push, whereas the other group sort of were just they weren't quite as compact and tight and keeping it as straight as what you were. Excellent. All right. I'm just trying to think of anything else really. Obviously not a good start for the season for your teammate and reigning champion Hamish Gallagher. This will most likely be a drop round for him.
Yeah, he decided to hang back tonight and try and miss all the wrecks and wait for a caution sort of thing. But unfortunately, the complete opposite happened to end up getting in the wrecks and there was no caution. So yeah, it's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, is what it is. He'll move on and be strong next week, I'm sure. But yeah, he'll come back fine, mate.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. Yeah, so good start for yourself and Jaden with trying to take the championship. So yeah, did you have any shout outs you wanted to do?
Yeah, just to you for putting on the broadcast. ANZCAR and our sponsors as well, Affinity Constructions Australia, Madhouse Designs, and yeah, that's about it.
Excellent. All right. Awesome. All right, I'll drop you down and enjoy the rest of your night.
All right, cheers, mate.
Cheers. And we have our first place finisher, Jaden Russell, in the booth now. Good race for you tonight. How did your race go? How would you sum it up?
Smooth as a Daytona race get tonight. It was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it was pretty unusual with no cautions, wasn't it?
Yeah, not something you expect coming into a super speedway, but yeah, it's good when you can get away with a green flag run, nice and quick.
Excellent. And obviously you worked very, very well with Josh there. Did it sort of, you had the same sort of plan the whole night, or did you have to sort of make any changes on the fly, or just take it as it came?
We were a lot further ahead than what we planned on being coming out of that pit stop, and there's not really anyone better than Josh to be pushing you along, so it was moving at the rate of knots without even trying, really. So yeah, smooth sailing from that pit stop, really.
Yeah, it was. I think, yeah, I illustrated on the broadcast that, yeah, Josh was doing a really, really good job of just pushing you along. And talking to him, he said he was only sort of three-quarter throttle doing it. So, just did a better job of lining up and drafting better than I think the next pack, unfortunately. So that's why they weren't able to catch you. So good, strong start to the season. Obviously trying to look at seeing if we can get somebody to beat Hamish, the reigning champion. Are you committing to the full season, or are you sort of just going to be picking and choosing your races?
I really want to try and do the whole season, but I do have another league coming up that I've committed to, which I'm not sure if it'll clash with times or not. So that'll be pending. I'm hoping I can race both, but I'll just have to decide on that one when it starts up.
Yeah, it's always the way. There's so many good leagues around to race at the moment. It's hard to pick and choose which one you want. Well, it's definitely good to see you here. I mean, even if you I can't do a full season, you drop in and do some races. Be good to give some challenge to Hamish and that. Okay, I think that'll do it. Do you have any sponsors or fans that you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, just everyone back at Synergy. Obviously, Josh Knight pushed me to the win instead of racing me for it, which he could well have done. I said that to him in the chat, but yeah, he was happy to push me to the win. And obviously, the whole push from that pit stop and even before that, leading the race with me pushing him, it was set it all up for the win in the end. Yeah, so thanks to him and everyone else, you for putting up the live stream tonight. It's pretty cool. So
Excellent, excellent. All right, no worries. All right, I'll drop you down to the back and down into the green room. Enjoy the rest of your night.
thanks, mate. You too.
And there you have it. So we've spoken to all the top three there. Pretty convincing, I would say, is one word I'd use, I think, because the 28 and the 31 sort of were under control and sort of knew what they were doing, sort of all race there. But yeah, I think that will just about sum us up for tonight. We'll just go through that top 10 again. So yeah, there's top 10 results. Russell, Micklemore, Hart, Jawson, Nankervis, Schultz, Neil, Pritchard, Douglas, and Williams rounding out the top 10. Next week we will be heading to Darlington Speedway, and hopefully we will have some properly working overlays and not so many technical issues. Fingers crossed. All right. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.